Hello children, welcome to the internet once again, and today we're going to do something very, very saucy. Today we are revisiting Stalker's signature melee weapon, the Hate. This has always been a very solid melee weapon. It does primarily slash damage, it has very good crit chance, solid crit multiplier, decent status chance, the attack speed is okay at 0.917, the only downside here is the follow through is only 60%, which is not the best. Now getting the Hate is, well, you either have 10,000 blueprints and you don't know what to do with them, or the Stalker refuses to drop it for you. There seems to be no in between. But yeah, this is dropped by either the Stalker or the Shadow Stalker, both can drop it. Now the reason why I think this is going to be pretty saucy is because A, the Hate has an Incarnon adapter that you can farm from Circuit into Viri, and B, it has a weapon specific mod called Burning Hate, which is actually currently in Nightwave, which makes enemies vulnerable to status damage if you hit them while they're affected by a heat proc. So let's see how silly this actually is, shall we? I'm curious about this because this can either be a buff on you, so you do more status damage to those enemies, or it can be a debuff on the enemies, so they take more status damage. That is an important difference. No shot, it's actually a debuff on the enemy, so it's multiplicative with Elementalist. That's dumb. That is dumb. Also, heat spread by influence. Wow, so you can spread it with influence as well? That is ridiculous. Oh my god. It also, yeah, it synergizes with the Incarnon because you throw the heat blades. Oh my god. Okay, let's get a stance on there. Reaping Spider will do. Let's get the mod on right away so we don't forget about it. That'd be embarrassing, would it not? I think we're gonna go with Condition Overload? Probably, because we're gonna run Harrow to get Vital and all that, so Condi Overload is gonna be worthwhile. Let's get Blood Rush in there, as well as a Elementalist since it's multiplicative. That is so strong, good god. For now, we're gonna run Organ Shatter for the crit damage, and I would also like some attack speed. Where is Fury? There is Fury. This will need a handful of forma. Let's start off by putting a V under Blood Rush. A Weeping Wounds, Faux Show, and for now, Heat, let's just run Volcanic Edge. This is not the best mod because the Incarnon Blades already do heat, but I want to make sure that the enemies have heat on them, I guess. We could replace it with something else later. This has both a lift and a knockdown in it. I think we can run Afflictions on this. Yeah, because on Reaping Spiral, the first stance has a lift and a knockdown. This one, Eternal Nocturne. So we can get some mad status multiplication from this. I think the evolutions will stay the same, so we will have the combo generation, then the range. I don't think the other options are as good, and for the last one I have a combo of crit and status. I don't necessarily want to buff one or the other, I kind of want a little bit of both. Oh, this is dumb, my god, yeah, even just the blades are doing so much damage. I'm not even fully ramped up. I want to do it again. Dude, what the
Flem, Krakata.
That's so much damage. Now, this is a damage over time build, by the way. Also, we don't have Harold. This is so unreasonably violent. Oh my god. Yeah, this is dope. This is so dumb. I'm looking forward to this. Even before you activate the Incarnon, the damage is already nuts. So if you don't have the adapter yet, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. One thing that I kind of like about this is that you don't have to focus on afflictions too much, so you're not limited by it. The setup has more than enough damage without triggering affliction all the time. Because you're only gonna trigger afflictions on the standing button mash combo, the other two combos don't have knockdowns or lifts. The damage on this is so wild, like the upfront damage would be enough to just clear Steel Path. But then you have like an absolute truck ton of dot damage behind it. It's silly. This is, by the way, not the final version of the build either. We can replace Organ Shatter with the Galvanized Steel to get even more crit chance and more crit damage. Also, we are not using Tennokai, because I just didn't want to. But yeah, you can run Tennokai for big heavies too. Hello, Violent. I've been expecting you. Show me the damage. Oh, even the slash is ticking really hard. My god, that's silly. I feel kind of bad using this against the shield boys. They don't deserve this kind of a massacre upon them. Well, yeah, nah, they do. They do. Yep, buddy. That's ridiculous. Just, I wonder if the blades trigger the vulnerability as well. I suppose they do, right? So you can do it at range as well. Yeah, this is awesome. This is genuinely awesome. I know things have power crept up a lot, so it's not too unusual to be melting steel path, but this is a whole new level, a whole other level of meltage. Just the base damage alone is good. I know I've said this already, but yeah, just the base damage is fine. Then you add the dots on top of it and it gets ridiculous. This is a very easy yes on the recommendation front, I think. So, here's the final build for the Incarnon Hate. For the stance, we're running Reaping Spiral, and we're not using Tennokai, though if you want to go for maximum meme overkill, you can run a Tennokai trigger of your choosing in the Exiles. For the actual mods, we have Condition Overload for base damage, Blood Rush for crit chance, Galvanized Steel for crit chance and crit damage, Berserker Fury for attack speed, Burning Hate for the status vulnerability, Galvanized Elementalist for multiplicative status damage and status chance, Volcanic Edge for heat damage and status. I actually tried taking this out and I was not getting anywhere near enough heat procs to sustain Burning Hate or to trigger Burning Hate. So unless you have another source of heat procs, I would not recommend taking Volcanic Edge out. And the final mod on the menu is Weeping Wounds for status. Now for the Arcane, we're running Melee Afflictions to stack even more status effects, but this is like unbelievable level of overkill, so if you don't have it, it's fine. Additionally, I was running Arcane Strike on my frame. I just like a lot of attack speed, so that's one thing I was using outside of the weapon build itself. And I was also using Harold, my Hound, for Puncture, Electricity Impact and Vital Priming. You can most certainly play around with different evolutions, but the ones I chose were the combo count generation with base damage, extra range because I'm not running reach, and then a combination of base crit and status chance. This is an absolutely ridiculous build that does absolutely ridiculous damage. I cannot believe they made it multiplicative, because these kinds of effects in Warframe are usually additive, right? So instead of making the enemies take more status damage, it would in reality make you do more status damage to them, but no, this is multiplicative and it shows. I know I've mentioned this on numerous occasions throughout the video, but the upfront damage alone on this is enough to clear Steel Path, and that's the worst part of this build. You can easily hit enemies north of like 100-200k, and then you have this ridiculously super duper hyper boosted heat and slash damage that comes afterwards. And that's without using a faction mod. If you finagle a faction mod into this, Jesus Christ, it's gonna be big. So of course I'm gonna recommend you give this a shot or a swing or whatever. It's ridiculous and it's a lot of fun. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support, it means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.